We were lucky enough to spend 2 days at the world's newest theme park, Universal's Epic Universe, during the grand opening weekend. And no, we were not invited by Universal, and yes, we had to take out a second mortgage to be there because oh boy, it is not cheap. Now that the park is open to everyone, I'm getting asked a lot of questions about what I think about the park, how to plan appropriately, and what are some of my favorite things to do here. In this video, I'm going to take you through everything you need to know about Universal's most ambitious theme park, and by the end, you'll be more than ready to tackle your day at Epic. I'm working on full video reviews of both Epic Universe and Stella Nova Resort, as well as other fun Universal videos. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss them. First up, I'm going to give you an overview of the park. Epic Universe is located roughly 4 miles from Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. By Universal provided buses, this trip takes 14 minutes fairly consistently considering Universal has some dedicated bus lanes near the new park. Within Epic Universe, there are 5 lands. Celestial Park, which is really the main hub and is the only part not based on IP. There are beautiful details here like vibrant neon lights, statues, and original music which reminded me a bit of Epcot. There's also a giant fountain near the back that has water spouts constantly going off, but then has sort of a build-up show every hour or so. The music starts to get louder and more epic, and eventually the water spouts launch extremely high into the air. It's very cool to see. There are 2 rides here, a carousel attraction called Constellation Carousel that is quite unique, and a very intense dueling roller coaster that is not for the faint of heart called Stardust Racers. There are 2 full-service restaurants, Atlantic and the Blue Dragon, 3 quick-service restaurants, Oak and Star Tavern, Pizza Moon, and Meteor Astro Pub, and there's also plenty of drink and snack stands as well. This is where you'll find the main Epic Universe gift shop, a Christmas-themed gift shop, and 2 Starbucks locations. I would say the must-do in Celestial Park is Stardust Racers at night, since there are really cool lights and effects on the tracks that you don't get to see during the day. Then you have portals to the IP worlds, starting on your left with Super Nintendo World. This is the only part of the park that is officially open for hotel early entry hours at the time of this recording. If you've been to the version in Hollywood, you generally know what to expect. However, the scale of this land in comparison is mind-blowing. Video doesn't quite capture it. There are 3 attractions here. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, which is a VR-style gamified dark ride, Yoshi's Adventure, which is a primarily outdoor slow-moving dark ride, and Minecart Madness in Donkey Kong Country, which is a highly themed roller coaster that simulates jumping over the tracks like in the Donkey Kong games. There are 4 meet and greets here that are over fairly quickly with very little interaction. Mario and Luigi meet at the same time, then there's Toad, Princess Peach, and Donkey Kong. There's a quick service restaurant called Toadstool Cafe, snack stands called Yoshi's Snack Island and Turbo Boost Treats, and a dessert cart in Donkey Kong Country called the Bubbly Barrel, where you can get that cool DK barrel cup that you've likely seen online. In my opinion, the must-do in Super Nintendo World is the queue for Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, because the theming is next level and really feels like you've stepped inside a Mario game. Even if you've been to the one in Hollywood, this one blows it out of the water. Moving on, the next portal you have is Dark Universe, which is based around classic Universal monsters. In this part, you'll see characters like the Invisible Man and Igor roaming freely about the land. You can meet Frankenstein and his bride, which I highly recommend that you do. And there are 2 attractions here, Curse of the Werewolf, which is a thrilling but ultimately too short roller coaster, and Monsters Unchained, which is a dark ride that uses the same ride system as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, but way less screens, so you shouldn't get motion sick. You can even get your face painted like a monster for a ridiculous price. And finally, there are 3 quick service restaurants here, Das Steakhouse, Burning Blade Tavern, and DeLacy's Cottage. Must-do in Dark Universe, in my opinion, is the Monsters Unchained attraction, several times if possible. This was my favorite ride in the entire park and has tons of amazing animatronics of your favorite monsters. The next land is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, and they use the term Harry Potter loosely here. This land is really based on 1920s Paris from the Fantastic Beasts movies, and it truly does feel like you're stepping into another country. I had several friends think we actually went to Paris because of my Instagram stories. This land has only one attraction, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. I'm assuming the ride is Harry Potter specific because the Fantastic Beasts movies didn't perform well. It also has one show, Le Cirque Arcanus, which is very Fantastic Beasts-centric and not a must-see in my opinion. And of course, like the other Wizarding Worlds, they have interactive wand elements that are admittedly pretty cool. There are 2 quick-serve restaurants and 1 bar here. The food in this land is delicious, but oh so pricey. For example, you're going to pay $20 plus tax for the butterbeer crepe. There's a few walk-around characters, though admittedly we never encountered them in our 2 days here. The must-do in Ministry in my opinion is Battle at the Ministry queue, even if you don't go on the ride. It is one of the best queues ever built in my opinion. If you don't want to wait in the crazy long line just to see the queue, consider hopping into the single rider line. The line does not move faster than the actual line, but you do get inside the Ministry of Magic part of the queue quicker, and you can take a ton of photos out in the open. Then finally, to the right of the entrance to Epic is the largest land called Isle of Berk, based on the How to Train Your Dragon movies. This land is highly themed and has 3 attractions. One is a flat ride called Dragon Racers Rally, another is a roller coaster called Hiccup's Wing Gliders, and a family water ride called Fire Drill. There's also a kids' play area and an incredible theater show called The Untrainable Dragon. There are 3 places to dine here, all considered quick serve or snacks. There's Mead Hall, Spitfire Grill, and Hooligans Grog and Gruel. You can also meet Hiccup, Astrid, and Toothless here, which is an incredible experience. They really take their time with you and make sure you get time with the characters. But because of that, be prepared to wait. We got in line when the wait time said 60 minutes, and it actually took us 1 hour and 20 minutes. Also note that for whatever reason, Universal does not include wait times for this meet and greet in the app, so you need to physically go see what the wait time is. Hopefully they change this soon. Eventually, Universal is supposed to have dragons flying around this land, but we've yet to see that in action. And the must-do here is Hiccup's Wing Gliders. It's like a mini Hagrid's and packs more of a punch than it looks. Tickets. Be prepared to budget a lot of money to visit Epic Universe, as this is by far the priciest theme park we've ever been to.
I declare bankruptcy!
A single-day ticket to Epic Universe goes up to $200. Yes, Magic Kingdom does go up to $199 for a single-day ticket during Christmas, but there is so much more to do at that park, from attractions and shows to meet and greets and parades. Express passes and VIP tours at this park come at a hefty price tag as well. Express passes are not unlimited and go up to $300 plus tax. VIP tours go up to $650 plus tax and tip, and they're only 4 hours in length. Only you know your financial situation and how much you want to explore the park, but in my opinion, there are not enough attractions at Epic Universe to warrant a VIP tour or even an express pass, especially at those prices. Full disclosure, we purchased express passes for the first day we were there well in advance. It cost us $560 combined for 2 tickets, but the wait times were so low and there wasn't enough to do, so we asked for a refund and they were kind enough to provide it. And a major shout out to guest services who have been dealing with a lot since the park opened. With Express, Dragon Racers Rally, Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, and Battle at the Ministry are not included, leaving only 8 attractions to enjoy without a long line. Where to stay? There are 3 hotels located around Epic Universe, with one, Helios Grand, being the closest. The other 2 resorts are sister resorts called Stella Nova and Terra Luna, with one major difference. Stella Nova has a walking path to Epic Universe, whereas Terra Luna does not. A bus, car, or rideshare would be required even though it's across the street from Stella Nova. Both Stella Nova and Terra Luna are part of Universal's value resorts, though the pricing right now is quite high, closer to a Disney moderate resort. Helios Grand is the most expensive hotel, especially if you want the theme park view. It's considered one of Universal's deluxe resorts, but with a catch. There is not yet free unlimited express included with your stay here. Standard prices for this resort non-theme park view currently range from $600 to $820 per night. The best perk for this resort is the fact that it has direct access to Epic Universe and is placed right beside the Ministry of Magic, so you could potentially be some of the first people in line to experience Battle at the Ministry, which will forever be the most popular attraction in the park. Considering this is a new park and wait times have been very high since we visited, I would recommend staying at either Stella Nova or Grand Helios if you can swing it. Not only are these great hotels, but you're also close enough to take a midday break from the heat. And trust me, you're going to want to take a break. This park has very little shade. Stay tuned for my upcoming review of Stella Nova. I was shocked at how much we loved this resort. Rope drop and attraction strategy. This might be a hot take because I've seen a lot of debate online, but my advice for rope drop is to arrive at the gates around 6:30 to 7 a.m. regardless if you're staying on property or not. Even if you don't have early entry, you're still able to explore the park and get in line for rides, with the exception of Super Nintendo World. The park should open a bit early around 7:45 a.m. Once they open the gates and you get into the park, I would make a right and head straight for the Wizarding World. They will hold everyone at the portal entrance until around 8 to 8:10 a.m. As soon as you're able to, head to the line for Battle at the Ministry. This will have the longest line all day and is the ride that breaks down the most, meaning you'll want to get it out of the way. They have been very disciplined about opening this ride right at 9 a.m., so be prepared for a wait. Once 9 a.m. hits, the queue should start moving. We were off the ride at around 9:15 a.m. with this strategy. After that, head to Minecart Madness, followed by Mario Kart. These will have the second and third highest waits during your park day. Once you're done with those attractions, head to Isle of Berk to do Dragon Racers Rally, followed by Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Then make your way to Dark Universe for Curse of the Werewolf, followed by Monsters Unchained. Curse is not the best roller coaster, but the wait gets extremely long due to limited capacity. All other rides in the park have lower waits, and it won't really matter when you decide to do them, but do Stardust Racers at night. If you're okay taking a risk that it goes down and you might not get to ride it, go at the end of the night when the park is closing and make it your last ride. The food situation, at least currently, is different than you might be used to. The way it works in Epic Universe is you find a table, place a mobile order for your food, and enter the table number. The team members will eventually bring your food to your table. We've heard some horror stories about wait times to get food, so be prepared to allot extra time for dining. Food in the park is much more expensive than Disney or even the other Universal parks. For example, the garlic bread in Dark Universe is a whopping $12 plus tax, and most burger and fries combos are $20 plus tax. Also, important note about the food. A lot of it is not what you would expect to find in a theme park. It's more experimental than you and your kids might be used to. Keep that in mind with picky eaters. Even the Meteor Astropub had a spin on traditional food. I will say, this is an area where the park shines. Most everything we had was delicious, especially when compared to Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. And finally, here are some general tips. Make sure you bring an umbrella and use it not only during rain, but for the sun as well. As mentioned, there's next to no shade in this park. I know it's not easy to do, but if you can, try to pick a day where the weather looks clear. The majority of attractions are outside and get weather delayed when there is lightning in the area, which is very often in Florida. It happened to us on our second day and there was hardly anything to do. If you already have an interactive wand, make sure you take it with you as it will work in the Ministry of Magic. Although it's at an extra cost, I would recommend buying a power-up band for Super Nintendo World. A lot of this land is interactive and it's much more fun if you have the band. There's even a slot machine style game, like in the old Mario games, that's fun to play. If you're not staying on Universal property, you can still get into the park and line up for attractions early with the exception of Super Nintendo World. And I highly recommend you do this to maximize your time. And my number one tip is to stay late. This park is amazing at night and honestly went from being a good theme park to a great theme park. It really comes alive at night and you can get some amazing photos. Some of the meet and greets in Dark Universe end when the park closes, so you can even have spooky interactions in the dark. And there you have it. Now you're ready for an epic day at Universal's newest theme park. I bet you have a ton of questions. Ask them below in the comments and I'll be sure to answer all of them. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Bye!